my name is Hannah, and today I wanted to talk about ALS. ALS is a motor neuron disease, and it is progressive in nature. I wanted to talk about when people lose function of their voice specifically. Without that communication piece, living can be very challenging and isolating. As those motor neurons that are impacted with ALS start to deteriorate or eventually die, body functions are impacted, and kind of where you can see the impact is dependent on the type of onset. There are two types of onset of ALS. The first is limb onset, and then the other onset is bulbar onset. Speech-language pathologists help people who have been diagnosed with ALS to use alternative modes of communication to regain some of those abilities. The first one I wanted to talk about is called message banking. Message banking is a computerized system that can record phrases that a person may say, such as "I love you," or oftentimes calling pets over. So it's basically just kind of an audio clip, and it can be put into a speech generating device, and it maintains the person's voice and kind of their intonation and different patterns they may use or jokes they might tell or often. The second I would like to talk about is called voice banking. It is a little bit more time consuming up front. It does require the person with ALS to record about 1,600 sentences, but it essentially creates a unique and personalized synthesized voice using those sentences. So the person with ALS can generate novel sentences or new sentences on their speech generating device, and it will sound a little bit more personalized, like their own voice. It does still have somewhat of a synthetic factor, as it is a synthesized voice that is pieced together digitally. However, it can maintain that sense of personality and uniqueness to the person with ALS, and it can be really fulfilling for them as well as for their family members. I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to work with people who have been diagnosed with ALS, and it is a pretty devastating diagnosis for the person as well as their family and their friends, and oftentimes it's hard to know kind of how to navigate the diagnosis. There are resources such as the ALS Association and help guide families through the process. And I know oftentimes speech-language pathologists aren't the first thought for someone who's been diagnosed with ALS. However, the earlier you get started on these message banking and voice banking tasks, the more beneficial it could be later on. I hope this helped.